You see the numbers for Gardner, 13 points. The rest of the team, 13. I understand continuing to go to him, but does he need help, especially early stages of the second half?
He needs help, but the help will be provided once he gets his touches, because he'll draw the attention of Iona, and he will then find the open man because he's unselfish and a highly skilled passer.
Clayton Jr., first shot of the second half, rims out. Gardner is underneath. Picked up a double-double, fourth of the season last night in the semifinal victory against St. Peter's. Iona looking for its 16th trip the NCAA tournament. Marist won it back-to-back years during the 1980s in the Rick Smits era. Harris finding Ingo inside. Good start to the second half for the Red Foxes.
Real nice offense, patience. They reversed the ball, had the spacing, made the extra pass at the rim.
Marist never led at any point in the first half, never trailed in each of their first 3 wins here in Atlantic City. Shema from Clayton, short. Junior Joseph, just like last night, early on in the second half, an offensive board to keep a possession alive. Red jersey swarming around Junior Joseph up top.
Marist had everybody in the lane, defending the paint, defending the rim, and no one got out to contest on the perimeter. Thought it was a little too tight for Iona to make those second and third passes right in the paint, but they did a good job, and then finally found the open man at the three-point line.
Brickner, Clayton Jr., and Walter Clayton Jr. nearly had the turnover right there, and the steal. John Dunn pleading with this team to get going here.
Well, it's a lesson in perseverance just to try to get the ball over half court, and Marist now is going to really space the floor. They have 5 out on the perimeter.
Gardner over Shema, no. Ingo active on the offensive boards and out of bounds off Marist.
John Dunn did not like that shot by Patrick Gardner, and it's not something you see very often, him forcing the issue. Keep an eye on Marist and their fatigue here in the second half.
Jenkins a few moments ago hitting from downtown. Little hesitation. Lost it. Junior Joseph with 8. Jenkins now behind the back with 3. Looking for the opening. The runner, no. Ingo will track it down.
Good defense on that set by Marist, just not allowing the dribble penetration.
The handle and the footwork by the big man. Ingo again keeping the possession alive.
A good help on the drive by Gardner.
Harris against Junior Joseph. It is physical down low right now on both ends.
Physical, and Marist missing their shots short, and Iona unforced error.
Jenkins was looking cross court for Walter Clayton Jr. Clayton Jr. was looking for the timeout. And the ball going right between Rick Pitino and Clayton Jr. Actually to the right of Rick Pitino. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Iona up by 10, opening minutes of the second half. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. When you take care of your team, they take care of business. Iona women's basketball team taking care of business earlier today in the Women's MAAC Championship. Iona 73-60 victory in the final against Manhattan. Juana Camilleon, the MVP, scoring 24 in the championship game. Ketsia Athias, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. First career triple-double, and the first triple-double in the history of Iona women's basketball. There are the Lady Gales celebrating, and might be a late night, early morning, Sunday morning in New Rochelle. They're bringing home one trophy. They may bring home two. The last time it was done by a MAAC school with both men's and women's basketball programs winning both. You guessed it, Iona 2016.
Well, North Avenue half happy tonight. Great job by the Gales women and a terrific season. Just got some work to do here.
Billy Chambers, the head coach of Iona's women's basketball program. They won the regular season title. They win the MAAC tournament title. They're on their way to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2016. Kickball.
Seems like Marist came out of the locker room with a different idea how to attack in the half court. They are really opening up the court, trying to dribble drive to the rim.
Again, it's been physical early stages of the second half. Junior Joseph picks up the foul.
Nice delivery here. And this is why Marist needs to continue to go through Gardner, because he will attract that second defender and he's a highly skilled, unselfish passer.
Jaden Daughtry at the line for Marist. We'll cap off Champ Week tomorrow with 2 more championship games on ESPN and the app. The SEC title game is at 1 Eastern, Newt Central. Then the final automatic tourney ticket will be punched by the winner of the American Championship game.
Houston, Marcus Sasser went out with an injury today. We'll see if he plays tomorrow. And Tulane has had a really good season under Ron Hunter.
Jenkins with a great elevation, and he hits on the jumper.
Just plays so under control. And he knows where he can go, and when they back up just a little bit, he hesitates and then rises up with that mid-range game.
Salton in trouble and called for the violation. Was thinking about calling a timeout right in front of us, just over the midcourt line. Turnover for Marist, and Iona basketball up by 10 with 3:55 off the clock.
Well, we talked about in the first half. One thing you cannot do is dribble across half court and then pick up your dribble with nowhere to go. If you pick up your dribble, you better be ready to pass it quickly against Iona.
Shema going back door. John Luis unable to hit.
Oh, nice pass by Shema from deep.
Harris directing traffic. Salton, 5 on the shot clock. Ferris to the corner. Harris no good. Engo and Shema battling for it. And it's Daughtry going right back to the rim and throwing it down.
Daughtry with authority. And Harris missed a few of those in the first half, and that one was not to be denied.
Marist faithful on their feet. And a foul will be called on Daughtry. With that, a timeout on the floor.
Marist scrappy coming out of the half, and aggressiveness at the rim. Jaden Daughtry, not to be denied.
8-point Iona lead, second half of the MAAC championship. Let's take you back to the 97-98 MAAC season. How about head coach Tim Welsh taking the Gales to the tournament in his third and final year before going to Providence? The big hug right there for the MVP, John McDonald.
A big hug, because we wouldn't have been there without him. We had a great group of kids, players, and just a fond memory back then. A team that, you know, we were on the doorstep for the first 2 years at Iona and won the regular season, but just won bid leagues. A lot of pressure to get through and win it, and finally we did on Sienna's home court, which was made it feel even a little bit better. But
have you had get-togethers with that championship team?
We've had minor get-togethers, nothing official yet. Hopefully down the road. That's a good thought. Maybe we'll have them over to the house this summer. We'll get together right at the Welsh house. They're always welcome, that group.
You've got some planning to do.
Well, Iona's got some planning to do too. And Rick Pitino wasn't happy going into that last timeout as Marist kind of settled in here in the second half. I really like what John Dunn's doing. They're spacing the court. They're not really running plays. They're just moving the ball and then trying to go one-on-one in space.
Ferris getting inside, draws the foul.
So this is not about scouting right now for Iona, and no one does a better job of scouting than their staff. This is about getting down and dirty and getting into a stance and cutting off angles and dribble penetration. That's what Marist is trying to do. They're not running any more plays. They are going 5 out, 4 around 1, moving the ball, and then going one-on-one to the rim.
Cam Ferris at the line, hits on the first. March is here, and ESPN Tournament Challenge is back. Scan the QR code to download the app and play the #1 bracket game. Create a group, invite your friends, and get ready for the madness. Sign up for the ESPN Tournament Challenge today and test your bracketology knowledge. One more for Ferris. It has been the supporting cast early on here in the second half for the Red Foxes. Gardner, their leading scorer, with 13, 5 of 14 from the field. He's not sitting, he's standing with his teammates on the bench right now. Clayton Jr. looking for an answer. No good. Engo the rebound, falling down. And out of bounds to Iona. Ferris pleading his case. Engo falling to his floor, to the floor there. And Ferris could not maintain possession.
Well, this is not an easy game to officiate. Both teams are very physical right now, but Mike Stevens, the supervisor officials, put an excellent crew on this game tonight.
Lob for Junior Joseph. Now he puts the ball on the floor. Tony Chayaza, Matt Potter, Mike Nardone are 3 officials for this MAAC championship game. Jenkins, the air ball on the 3 attempts. Marist basketball within 6.
Well, we talked about Marist and what they needed to do defensively, but more important, they get these rebounds so that they don't have to inbound the ball and face the pressure.
Noah Harris on the switch. Junior Joseph has him. Sultan spins, misses, Engo. Great attempt on the putback, and Stefan Engo will have a pair at the line.
Stefan Engo has done a very good job tonight, just kind of moving around, getting rebounds out of his area. You see how wiry and long he is. Good job from the weak side, and Shema didn't block him out at all.
Averages over 2.5 offensive rebounds a game. 3 years at the University of Maine from Ontario, Canada. Shema the foul, his 3rd. Marist, as a team, perfect at the line so far tonight. Engo's trying to keep that alive right here. Marist got to the line plenty last night against St. Peter's. Michael Jefferson on the floor for the Gales. They had over 40 attempts last night. Engo keeps Marist perfect at the line. and a 4-point game.
Well, Junior Joseph needs a touch. And the guards have dominated tonight for Iona, but he's got to get some post-ups. You got to stop that first, though, because Jenkins is as good as you get from the mid-range. It's really poor ball screen coverage for Marist.
Jenkins, the bucket, the near steal. Out of bounds at the end of his bench area. And Marist is going to inbound in a very dangerous place as Gardner will come back onto the floor. Ingo will take a breather.
John Dunn was trying to buy a couple minutes for Gardner, maybe get to the under 12 timeout, but he's sensing that he's needed, and he is correct against this pressure.
Ferris on the inbounds, gets it into Harris.
Now that's the thing, you just got to get it in, and they will back the pressure off, but if they see you go into that corner, that's when they trap, and they're full denial.
Harris strong on the three-point attempt. Gardner tracks it down. Ferris working against Jefferson. Harris with 7. Feeds the corner. St. Percy up top. Gardner gets the look and knocks down the three-pointer.
Well, again, that's the new scheme this half. They totally changed their offense from the first half to this half. They're not running any plays. It's 5 out, dribble penetrating the gap. If Iona overhelps, they'll kick it to the open shooter on the perimeter.
Junior Joseph unable to hit, but draws the foul. Salton picks up the personal foul.
That was a real good drive by Nelly Junior Joseph. Not normally his game, putting the ball on the deck, but showed dexterity and the ability to twist and find that smallest window at the rim.
At the line for 2, 3 points, 8 rebounds. All MAAC first team for the second straight year. 19 double-doubles, had a stretch of 11 straight games during the regular season. Double digits in points and rebounds.
Well, when you talk to coaches in the MAAC, he said, well, we're doing a good job on Junior Joseph. Then you look up, he's got 18 and 9. He does it kind of quietly and without fanfare. And they do sometimes go multiple possessions without looking for him, but he's been very active in the second half. Not only on offense, he's doing a good job on Gardner in the press.
Cam Ferris off the bench in a big role in his first year, or his junior year at Marist. Here's Gardner, short, and here's Clayton Jr. racing into the front court. Does not have numbers, forcing the action, unable to finish in transition. And now Marist looking to go the other way and push it.
Just couldn't find that opening. He elevated, he twisted, just couldn't put it home.
St. Percy with the throw down. 3-point game.
Well, the spacing allowed the dunk, the dribble drive, and the dunk. Everyone was out on the perimeter. The weak side was stretched out to the three-point line, allowing the penetration and finish.
Clayton Jr. looking inside for Junior Joseph. He is fouled on his way to the basket, and with that whistle, we've got a timeout on the floor.
Well, Marist has crept back into this game. Execution on the offensive end, not calling plays. It's just about basketball. Space out, drive and kick to a special player, and then you got to get down and dirty because there's no help coming. It's one-on-one basketball, and the finish by St. Percy.
Marist Red Foxes currently Tim Welsh on an 11-4 run. They've gotten a couple of highlight reel dunks. They're also 6 of 6 from the line during this stretch.
It's amazing to me that this team's 13-19 because they are playing at a high level against a very good Iona team. And give John Dunn and his team a lot of credit. They changed up in-game their strategy, and it is working on the offensive end, and they've been very solid on the defensive end.
Marist is playing in the MAAC championship game for the first time in school history. Iona, its 20th appearance in the championship game. That is most of any MAAC school in the 42-year history of the conference. Junior Joseph at the line for a pair. Joseph, perfect 2 of 2 from the line. Iona extends its lead to 5.
In the pressure again, the face guarding, the total denial. They'll trap if you put it in a spot that's dangerous.
Iona, its largest lead of the game at 11. Brickner with a strong finish, his first points of the game.
That's what you have to do. You have to make them pay. You can't be hesitant. Even when you get the ball over half court, you've got to keep attacking against this pressure.
Brickner had a career-high 21 in the quarterfinal victory against Quinnipiac. Knocked down 5 threes in that game. John Luis, no on the 3. Gardner flat-footed tried to secure the ball. And out of bounds off Iona.
Brickner did a good job. In the first half, he kind of picked his dribble up a couple times right at half court. This time, the spacing was there, and the nice finish with the left over the defenders.
Marist, its 4th game here in the MAAC tournament, the number 11 overall seed. First time an 11 seed has ever made it all the way to the championship game.
It's hard man pressure right now. Iona has taken off the traps.
Cam Ferris hits on the 3-pointer. We are tied at 46.
Now you wondered about fatigue for Marist. 4th game, but they are seemingly getting stronger by the minute.
Gardner will be called for the foul.
Again, they've been on the attack, and here just a simple little dribble handoff, a little shuffle, and Walter Clayton Jr. gets caught napping on defense out of his stance, not attacking the shooter and closing out.
Saw the stat there just a moment ago. The note, last tie at 2-2 early on in the first half. Schemmel looking inside for Junior Joseph. Bodies flying. Brickner comes up with it. And Brickner is bumped. That's going to be the 14th foul on the Gales with 9:47 remaining.
Well, the first half, Iona was getting all the loose balls. They were up on the floor. Their guards were rebounding. Now Marist is involved with the toughness plays. One thing you can't do, though, against Iona is relax at all, even on these simple sideline out-of-bounds plays, because they're in total front denial.
Brickner gets it back. Brickner trying to stuff it home, denied at the rim.
There, John Luis doing his best Walter Clayton Jr. imitation. Another denial right at the rim. Goodness.
Gardner takes it on the inbounds. Junior Joseph poked it away, comes up with the steal. Walter Clayton Jr. out for Jenkins. Iona takes the lead right back.
Do those two know each other or what? Walter Clayton Jr., the door got closed at the rim. He knew exactly where Davis Jenkins was in the corner.
Rick Pitino told us earlier today, roommates, they've made each other better throughout the course of the season. Brickner, the spin, unable to hit, and a foul called. It's going to be on Ingo, and Ingo pleading his case.
And We talked about Danis Jenkins and his ability to create off the bounce in his mid-range game. Perfect spot up, ready to catch and shoot. The delivery was right in the shooting pocket.
Jenkins and Clayton Jr. both going for 30 in different victories during the regular season against Niagara. Gardner goes to the bench. Just over 9 minutes to go. So we may get the minute here on the clock and then the timeout. Clayton Jr. spinning, unable to hit, and the rebound into the hands of Daughtry.
Good job to Daughtry getting in the mix, undersized, but rebounding with the bigs.
Daughtry had his second game this season in double figures with rebounds, had 10 last night against St. Peter's. Ferris, too strong that time, and Jenkins with a long rebound. A lot for Junior Joseph. Ingo there, and then Shema is there for the putback. John Dunn will call timeout.
This is why you can't relax against Iona. It's constant pressure at the rim defensively, and the finish in traffic by Shema.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Jersey Mike. Subs, be a sub above. Springsteen is played here at Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall. The rock stars of the moment, the Iona women's basketball team winning the MAAC championship on the women's side earlier today in a victory against Manhattan. Iona cheerleaders pulling double duty. It's about 3:30 this afternoon here at Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall. Let's take a look, Jim, or Tim, right now, pardon me, on the Marist comeback.
Well, the Marist comeback is pretty simple. First of all, they've handled the pressure pretty good in this half, and they've changed their philosophy on the offensive end. They're spacing the court, they're dribble driving to the rim with a lot of room to roam, and Iona has to decide how they want to play this offense. And Walter Clayton Jr. on the switch out on the perimeter late to the party, and I'm sure they will make some sort of adjustment, push them sideline, not pressure as much. Maybe they have to take a step or two off so they can guard the drive better than they have.
And if that Marist player beats his defender initially, we've seen the dunks, an open looks at the rim. How do the other players get back here? Is that part of the transition?
Well, you have to get yourself in position before the drive, but the problem is you don't want to leave a three-point shooter, so it really comes down to get down and dirty, and you guard your man and guard your yard and stop him.
Ferris hit the three that tied the game at 46. Iona now on a 5-0 run. Paris with 3 on the clock. No. And the shot clock violation, turnover, Red Foxes.
John Dunn is pleading with Noah Harris, go get the ball, go help, and he was kind of just hanging around at midcourt. Ferris was having a problem down there on the baseline, and the violation committed.
12 turnovers for Marist. Tim Gardner went to the bench with just over 9 to go. We're now under 8 remaining. We had the immediate timeout. He's still on the bench right now. And a foul called on Jenkins. Next time he comes on the floor, is it one final stretch?
Well, I think John Dunn's just trying to buy a little bit of time so he can finish the game with Gardner. Obviously, you've got to be aware of fatigue, not only because you're playing Iona, but you're playing the extra game, and a steal by Marist.
And the block by Junior Joseph on Inga, who goes spiraling to the floor.
Marist, this is the third breakaway, looks like a dunk. Coming up nothing because of the extra effort by Iona. That time was Nelly Junior Joseph. We've seen it with Barrett John Louise and Walter Clayton Jr. Just highlight film dunks that weren't there because of the resistance.
5th block for the Gales, 4th for Junior Joseph. And now he'll pick up the foul on Gardner.
We talked about it before. Last baseline out of bounds. Marist turned it over. You got Shema at 6'11", guarding Harris at 6'1", getting into the vision.
Gardner putting the ball to the floor. Clayton with a swipe. Gardner with the bucket.
He earned that one because it was real good defense by Iona, but he's so crafty with his footwork and that ability kind of just to find that little angle with those long arms with the left.
And score in so many different ways.
D by Harris on Walter Clayton Jr.
Now Junior Joseph attacking and finishing at the rim.
Real smart play by Nelly Junior Joseph. Patrick Gardner kind of bit on Walter Clayton and left Junior Joseph just enough so he could find a lane to the rim.
Marist has not led at any point. We were tied at 2-2 early on, tied most recently at 46 apiece. Junior Joseph pokes it away. Jenkins ahead of the pack. John Luis, the two-handed throw down.
This is Iona at its best. Constant pressure. They never relent. Over the course of 40 minutes, their goal, wear you out.
7-point game. And we're taking a 30-second timeout on the John Luis dunk.
Some mistakes, and then they take advantage. And there's another one.
Iona right now on a 9-2 run.
Well, that's frustrating for John Dunn. You call a timeout, you draw up a play, and the first thing you do is throw it right into press run.
Marist tied the game at 46. Since then, they're just 1 of 6 from the field. Deflection by Daughtry on the inbounds. Again, A run by the Gales after Marist tied it up at 46 on the three by Ferris. Jenkins, three spins out. That's this end of the floor tonight.
That was a good out-of-bounds play by Iona. And Marist needs to tighten up their execution, sideline, baseline, and full court out-of-bounds plays.
Other end of the floor. Iona is shooting here in the second half. We saw several shots fall off and go halfway down and come back out for the Red Foxes in the first 20 minutes. Daughtry with 5. Front rim, no. Walter Clayton Jr. spinning away from the defender in traffic.
Questionable shot by Daughtry. He's not a good three-point shooter. Again, they went a possession, and Gardner did not touch the ball.
Gemma on the three-point line. Misses the three. John Luis inside, unable to connect. Gets it back. Goes to the reverse side.
John Luis is finding a way to make winning plays all night long in different ways. Defensively, on the glass, dribble driving, shooting from the perimeter.
MAAC co-defensive player of the year during the regular season. Ferris putting on the brakes. Gardner answers at the other end with a triple.
Junior Joseph took a step back, and Patrick Gardner said, I'm going to take a step back further. Deep range.
Gardner had 13 of the 26 from Marist in the first half. He's up to 21. And the turnover right there.
Well, John Luis has earned his meal money tonight. Down in the paint, in the trenches, just finding a way, the extra effort. And then Patrick Gardner, this is why he needs to put his big mitts on the ball every possession.
(57-51) Iona, the #1 seed in this year's MAAC tournament, leading against the 11th seed Marist Red Foxes. Marist, its first year in the MAAC, 1997. Their last tournament final game in the Northeast Conference way back in 1992. Lost on this day in 1992 to Robert Morris. And let's take a look now. Tim at the Hercules Tire strong move of the game.
Well, you better be strong tonight, especially at the rim against Iona, because they've had 3 of these, just complete denial at the rim. The extra effort and the ability to elevate and resist.
Strong move of the game presented by Hercules Tires. 6-point game. Walter Clayton Jr., Patrick Gardner. Iona 5 blocks. Marist none, had 10 in their 3 victories prior to tonight in the MAAC tournament here in Atlantic City.
Where you have to be careful with Marist. You have to execute. Getting the ball in is troubling.
Gardner went to the floor initially. Clayton Jr. the deflection.
Yeah, these plays against Iona, they are not going to let you have the ball easily inbounded. You must be exact. Everybody must move in sync and quickly and come to the basketball.
Feels like they sneak a second or third defender on the floor in the timeouts. Gardner inside, Daughtry, patience. Gardner with the throwdown as he got it back from Daughtry.
Well, that's how you have to attack. You cannot be timid. You have to take some chances sometimes over the top. That time, Bears had good spacing, made the extra pass, and Gardner determined.
Gardner corrals it, loses it. Jenkins hits on the three-pointer for the Gales.
Oh, John Dunn just throwing his hands up with frustration. Gardner had it secured, but again, Iona, pesky. You can't relax for a second against this pressure.
7-point Iona lead, 4 to go in regulation. MAAC championship from Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall here in Atlantic City. Junior Joseph picks up the foul.
Patrick Gardner, can you believe not one Division I offer? Came from St. Michael's up in beautiful Burlington, Vermont. But Iona put the extra pressure on. Dennis Jenkins, and then the big fella with the slam.
MAAC championship from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Marist and Iona, closing stages of the second half. We have you covered on Selection Sunday. It all starts at noon Eastern on ESPN with college basketball live to prep the day. At 6, Reese and the guys look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology with breakdowns of each region at 8. The women's field of 68 will be revealed with continuing coverage on ESPNU at 9 and at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Even more coverage of both brackets. Everything is also streaming live on the ESPN app. Busy Saturday. As we see every March, the tickets that have been punched so far today, we've got more to come, including this one.
How about Marquette? Shaka Smart. He's been terrific there this season, winning the regular season and the tournament in New York. And to find players anywhere. And Tyler Kolek, the MVP of the regular season and the tournament from Little Cumberland, Rhode Island.
Cooley, 1 foot in the backcourt, 1 foot in the front court. And Iona comes away with the steal. Clayton Jr. in against Gardner. Unable to spin it up over the rim, but draws the foul on Gardner.
That's multiple occasions now that out of a timeout, Marist just bunched up, and you must space the court against this pressure and just kind of winging it in there on a prayer, just to hope to get it inbounds instead of being exact. They had that entire backcourt to throw the ball into the backcourt to get the ball in, but everybody was bunched up right by the sideline.
16 turnovers for Marist. Walter Clayton Jr. at the line. Rick Pitino and the Gales won the MAAC tournament title 2 years ago, knocked out in their opening round game in the quarterfinals against Ryder last year.
Rick Pitino just absolutely loves this group, and obviously had some major injuries during the season to 2 key players. Slazinski and Cruz Davis, just real good contributors for Iona, but tighten the rotation. Continue to put on the pressure. Full court and into the half.
Ball in the hands of Daughtry against Junior Joseph. Noah Harris. The shot clock inside of 10, working against Jenkins. Jenkins forces the turnover, 17th of the game. Clayton Jr. for his roommate Jenkins, who hits another 3. And the lead up to 12 for the Gales.
Well, it started with the pressure defense, too much dribbling by Marist, and then off to the races, space the court. The roommates finding each other. Extra pass, and Jenkins almost even doesn't touch the net. Just spotted up, understanding when to go, when to slow, and he and Walter Clayton Jr., they are a handful. It starts with their defense, their ability just to wear you out with the pressure, but then offensively, Jenkins talked about his mid-range game, but you can see he can step away and hurt you as well.
He now has a team high 21. Gardner leading the way for Marist with 23. And we'll take a look at Danis Jenkins.
Danis Jenkins is a real good on-ball defender, but tonight it's been his offense. He's spotted up in the corner, in the wing. He's trailed in transition, and Walter Clayton Jr. has done a terrific job of just drawing the defense and then making plays off their defense. The extra pass, Iona space, well-versed in how to play in the half court.
And Jenkins now over 20 for the 8th time this season. At 21 against Marist and 22 against Ryder at Ryder in the last 2 games of the regular season. Both victories. 13 straight victories for the Gales, entering the MAAC championship. A 14th will punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Marist trying to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since the 1980s when Rick Smits was on campus in Poughkeepsie. Right now, Iona on an 8-0 run.
The pressure continues, and Marist has done a pretty good job with their half-court offense. Very good half-court defensively, but it's just the loose passing in the half-court and against this pressure.
Foul called. They've had Daughtry bringing the ball up instead of Harris and Ferris, who are on the floor right now. 1-and-1 coming up. 17th foul on the Gales.
Good job on the attack by Daughtry. He was a little off balance, but he was pushing it. He was not picking his dribble up at half court and can't convert.
Ball batted out, and Clayton Jr. a foul on the sideline on Marist. And it's going to be called on Jaden Daughtry. Daughtry picks up his second. So Walter Clayton Jr. at the free throw line for the Gales right now, up 65-53 with under 3 remaining. He's got his shots, not as efficient as Shema will check in. Shema, pardon me, will check in. But again, Jenkins has picked up, especially here in the second half. Clayton now with 13, but 19 shots from the field overall, hitting on 5.
Well, normally it's Jenkins who's the creator and Clayton Jr. who's the guy that's making the plays, but they're so good playing together that they just take what the defense gives them. They're interchangeable tonight. It's been Clayton Jr. looking for Jenkins on the perimeter.
Noah Harris, sophomore guard from New Jersey, from Manalapan. Here's Gardner up top. Shot clock winding down. Game clock approaching 2.5 remaining. Harris could not handle it. Tried for the tie-up. Instead, a foul.
Well, give Iona all the credit in the world defensively. Marist got back into this game by spacing the court, taking Iona one-on-one off the dribble, and now Iona is down and dirty defensively and not allowing any penetration into the lane.
Barrick John Luis from Lehigh Acres, Florida, 3rd year at Iona, 2-time Florida high jump champion in high school.
It's been the perimeter defense of Barrick John Luis, Walter Clayton Jr., and Danis Jenkins that has worn Marist out over the course of this game. And Barrick John Luis, 6'4", but he plays like he's about 6'9".
Rickner back on the floor for the Red Foxes. Daughtry on the three-point line. Too strong on the 3. Barrick John Luis position on the bigger Gardner. Ahead for Junior Joseph, who could not catch up to it. Iona right now on an 11-0 run in the last 2 minutes.
Now, when you're up 2 touchdowns, you don't need to throw a pass down the field, that's for sure. And Rick Pitino wasn't happy with that. But he told us today, he says, this time of year, I try to be really positive all the time.
Ferris fouled on the 3 attempts, and John Luis pleading his case. Rick Pitino, John Dunn right there. Rick Pitino not going to be happy with that, as Ferris has 3 free throws coming up.
Well, he's just reminded his team, we've got to work the clock. You know, it's time at this point now. Time and score are vital. Run your offense. Wait for Marist to gamble, make a mistake, and then take advantage. Extends the defense on this make or miss. They need to take one last shot, see if Iona makes some mistakes against some pressure.
Marist, his 3rd free throw. 13-point Iona lead, just over 2 minutes remaining.
Good job by Shemmer on the inbounds. Very smart, running the baseline, finding a better angle to inbound.
Foul called on Brickner. That's his 2nd. 2 shots the rest of the way for the Gales.
Well, the thing you have to love about Iona is they have a lot of pieces that can play in different spots on the floor. And you have 3 really good guards like they do. It starts with the pressure, but offensively they're constantly moving and looking for each other. They're so unselfish. You got the perimeter scoring with Clayton Jr. and Jenkins, and then if you start to take that away, they'll go to their next option. Kelly Jr. Joseph around the rim.
It's nice to have options.
It's nice to have options. It's also nice to have a Hall of Fame coach that's been to multiple Final Fours and knows how to coach a team into the NCAA tournament, which it looks like Iona will do again under Rick Pitino.
Maybe the 2nd time in 3 seasons under Rick Pitino, the 7th time for Iona since 2011, 2012, and 6 of those under former head coach Tim Cluse.
Iona has traveled well down here from New Rochelle and rebuilt the Hines Athletic Center. It's just a great home court for them, and this program is built to last.
Iona 146 away from taking not 1 but 2 MAAC titles back to New Rochelle. The women's team knocking off Manhattan earlier today in the women's championship final. Jenkins hits on the 2nd.
Continue to put the pressure on. They're not going to trap out of this, but they're just making Marist work to get it up.
Brickner misses inside on the layup attempt.
Well, that's what happens against this Iona pressure. Over 40 minutes, you miss those little shots because of fatigue, but Marist has a lot to be proud of and a lot to build on moving forward with John Dunn. He's an excellent coach. He did a great job at St. Peter's in his tenure there. It was a great hire by Tim Murray. And he's proven again that you can get teams to win in this tournament, but he just didn't have enough weapons tonight.
Shot clock winding down. Race for the basketball. Jenkins beats Brickner to it. 1 minute to go. Ferris hit a 3 for Marist, tying the game at 46 all. Since then, Iona on a 25-9 run. Jenkins fouled by Brickner.
Nice job by John Dunn. He's told his team to foul only so he could get some of his bench guys into this game. And Iona overcoming the injuries. You lose 2 key players right in the middle of the season. It can be devastating for most programs, but they've flourished in the last month and a half. And really changed for Iona in the middle of February when Rick Pitino changed the way they practice. He changed the teams in practice. Instead of having Clayton Jr. and Jenkins on the same team, he had them go against each other every day in practice, which up the intensity of the entire team.
Patrick Gardner going to the bench for Marist. Iona in 2021, when they won the MAAC title, they were the 15th seed in the NCAA tournament, lost to Alabama.
They're going to have a better seed than that this year. I would say at worst a 13, maybe, possibly, depending on what's happening in the other conferences, possibly a 12.
Gardner embracing Javon Cooley in a long hug before taking a seat.
I don't care what they are, 13, a 12. I would not want to face this team. They are playing at a high level right now on both ends.
Daughtry misses on the free throw. Junior Joseph the rebound with 40 seconds remaining. Jenkins leading the way in the second half, 19 of his 24 after coming out of the locker room.
Well, it's not oversaid or overused, the term or the philosophy or whatever way you want to break it down, that guards win in the NCAA tournament, and Iona has the guards and the goods to win in the tournament.
Jenkins, the finishing touches on what's going to turn out to be a 76-55 victory for the Iona Gals. Iona on its way back to the NCAA tournament.